One of the most underrated 1v9 champions is EKKO. Now, everyone's saying, what do you mean underrated? Everyone knows EKKO is broken. Well, he's not broken. He's not amazing, like S tier plus, but he's definitely an A tier fringe jungler, right? This is a jungler that will carry you all the way to Challenger if you're good enough at jungle and the champion. Dark Harvest, not first strike for this game. You will have to be more purposeful with your pathing and your activity when you go for this versus the first strike, which I do recommend is a good way to go. It's a better way to go for the Karth, the Rango, the EKKO. That's like, 1600 gold bonus at the end or something. That's a free BF sword, a free needlessly large rod just from playing the game versus having to worry too much about your damage spikes with the Dark Harvest stacking. Now, the reason why I said underrated is because when people are like, hey, I need to climb to my chosen rank, I always slap an EKKO as a mention because I do think he's got a lot of that power that we need. But this guy right here overshadows, right? He's almost the AD version of what this guy is at the moment in terms of, hey, good at everything, but not exactly, the best at anything. And Virka's obviously probably the best at team fighting, but EKKO's the best at assassination team fighting because he can go into the back line and honestly reset himself. And he's, if he doesn't get things going, he's a little bit doomed, whereas EKKO can always reposition out, and he really has that control. What I like from both junglers is the ability to red side quadrant, to full clear, to invade, to counter jungle. They do everything well. Now, Virka's obviously objectively better by most metrics, but EKKO's got a good win rate, a decent play rate, and while he's more difficult to use, right, contrary to popular belief by, certain non-high elo EKKO mains who think he's weak, he's not. The champion is actually hugely strong. Look at this damage early. We know we're going to have a Virka here rotating to the scenario. Be careful not to overcommit and overchase. That's a mistake by the player, not the champion. And now we're going to E over the wall here. All we need to do is hit that. We don't. We chuck out our W here. E onto the Virka. Use our Q for the slow. We get that shield plus auto attack proc. And now we escape. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. If you understand your champion, your positioning, and you understand how champions play relative to each other, like what's Virka gonna do, what's Orianna gonna do, what's Thresh gonna do, and what can I do about these things? Like, you're always thinking about that relationship. I like this. I like that. Did you see that? We're gonna look at that again. Straight on the outset here, you see that this Virka's already done a 5 camper. You know that as EKKO, you know you have to walk away. Now I'm worried about him going into my jungle potentially. Fortunately, he's low enough. However, because he has bot prio, I think you just need to straight up give away this grab. You need to go topside, snack this crab up, reset for your Dark Seal, and at least try and protect this with an item advantage. Don't float on down and try and coin flip this, okay? Which is what he tries to do, because he thinks Virka's basing. Virka thinks EKKO's basing. And now EKKO goes in too heavy with the smite, compromised, and red team bottom lane used that slight rotation of the Jinx and the Thresh to actually kill her. Now they show up. Virka rotates. Zai's going. That's another kill. EKKO's going to show up here. Can we? Nope. Let's see if he commits too far, which they mostly try to do. He avoided that W very, very nicely. But this is where Virka's just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got those early resets. Once he snowballs, it's really, really obnoxious. And now EKKO should, in theory, die. I think, to the Jinx is actually better than the Virka. But that's okay. Because in this game, we're looking at the comeback, right? How can we win early, then lose early, then lose more, and then come back more? Kind of the back and forth of or throw in this case, how kind of the back and forth of this game goes. From whichever team you choose to follow, we'll look at both junglers reasonably well, but mostly we're going to be focusing on the EKKO here. So, we have top side quadrant available. Outside in roll, we have the bottom side scuttle, we have the Krugs, we have the Raptors. The nice thing is about the fact that he dies here, you could have in theory just reset and gone straight for the scuttle and gotten it first. Why I like that is because if you do this, you deny what the Virka wanted the most, which is this topside scuttle. Maybe you can clean up and kill this guy, which I think we can agree we probably could have. In a regular scenario, you just got yourself a gank, and then you can loop back to your tier 2 or respawn Krugs and your respawn Raptors. This denies Virka the counter jungling that he should go and do now, given that most junglers just go for their bottom side, their blue side that they haven't yet taken. So think about that. That's a Master Tier thing, because this is a Master Tier game. Challenger games, you don't see this, right? Challenger junglers have already taken the scuttle, they've already killed the Aatrox, they're already looping around to this. Honestly, probably Raptors first. Like, it looks a little troll, but like, the Virkayu knows that the EKKO went leashless, and he knows that at 509 is 100% both camps are up, and here we go, you know? I think it's better if you take this, ward this, go to Krug, see him move, and collapse, right? Because then everyone can collapse. The Yone, the Darius, you, and you probably kill the Virkayu from this. So, missed opportunity from the EKKO, but when you choose to do this, you're saying, I'm giving you my top side camp because I think I want to go and kill some bottom laners. They're low, we have Dark Harvest, we got one stack. Let's see what we can do here. But if the idea is to go do the blue side quadrant and just base, not so good, yeah? Not so good. Not at all. Because we got deep wards there now. Now you have to invest the time, right? Because Viego's bottom side is distorted because of the rotations early. Here we go, we can E over the wall, beautiful W, get hooked in, unfortunately, well played by the Thresh here. All we need to do is get one kill, someone else is taking the turret there, so chuck out Q, get that auto attack. Maybe we can kill the Thresh as well, nice, passive proc for some movement speed, dash out, we're okay with that. In the meantime, we have here the Orianna and the Yone fisting and fighting, Yone gets 6 first, and obviously on the top side, we would have seen this over here. Viego does the counter jungling into the top side game, well played. Like, honestly, well played by the Virkayu. And if I'm the Virkayu, I'm a little irritated, even if my bottom lane played it well, that EKKO was able to get something out of the situation. Like, that's not so good. But you can see why. If EKKO gets nothing here, he screwed himself, right? Completely screwed himself. And that's why, outside in rule, take the scuttle first, look top lane, nada, boom, boom. If you see the Virkayu, defend your Raptors first, then Krugs, maybe gank this. Like, just look to prevent Virkayu from getting going. But this is why I wanted to show you this. Here we go. We're level 4 now, but we have a roaming support. Well, it happens to the best of us. The E's and the Q's and the Kindreds. Full on collapse onto the Aatrox, who's completely disrespecting things. Maybe we can snack this one. We'll get a QE. Beautifully done. We'll take that kill too. 2-1-1. Blasting 1 plus Dark Seal. Great. Thank you. Please make sure you are taking those items. Yeah, not alternator. It's significantly worse than Blasting 1. In terms of first itemization. Viego says, alright, cool, I'll take a free dragon from this, I'm already level 6. This is rough, but that's where people think incorrectly about EKKO. Because now they're thinking, you see, he's weak early. No, the guy took a very aggressive stance in his pathing, in his rotations, and he made mistakes because he's a Master Tier jungler. He's not a Grandmaster Challenger with 2000 LP Savant, and even they make mistakes, right? Coaches have coaches and pros have coaches. Michael Jordan had a coach. Just the way it is. You don't always see what you do in-game from a different point of view. So, too aggressive, cost him, and then made the wrong pathing decision, which gave the Virkayu free counter jungling, free gank on top side, and now free dragon. However, we are still EKKO, and we are still strong. Look at this. Yes, we have the Rakan with us. The size of that shield from the blasting one is already significantly bigger than it would be with alternator, and you have more damage. And you're still pretty damn potent at fighting. We're just trying to wait for a W here. I think it's obviously warded. Jinx is 6 as well. But this shows you a different side of EKKO. You know, you don't normally, oh, Jinxie. We're going to chuck out that Q. We're going to E to avoid her traps. We can place the W perfectly. It's going to hit. Nice big shield. Auto attack, another kill. Now we're 4-1-1 with 26 CS. And so this is for all those people who think EKKO's terribly weak at fighting early. I mean, come on. Come on. It's about the positioning of the champion. This guy's doing a pretty solid job. Honestly, he's doing a pretty solid job of the spacing of his abilities relative to the enemy champions. His jungling wasn't so great, but that's huge. Imagine if your jungling was great, right? Imagine if your jungling was EKKO the Nico here. If you are struggling to climb with EKKO, it's got nothing to do with the champion. If you're struggling to climb with Virkayu, it's got nothing to do with the champion. That's where these two are at the moment, alright? Please don't think otherwise. They perform absolutely fine. Their win rates don't tell the full story because a lot of champions have good win rates or bad win rates. It's not just because of their state, right? It's about the counters that they have in the game. It's about the meta. It's about how many people are playing it, how many people ban it. Are there a lot of one tricks? It's just people playing it once every now and then. So many things to look at with nuance. Obviously, Virkayu takes this, hibbity-hobbity around. I think we can assume that he's going to go topside here. From the EKKO's POV, obviously, we want to get level 6, so we don't want to rotate too soon. Here we go. Now, obviously, we know that Virkayu could be in the area. I think that's a silly face check again. I know you want to rotate to the Aatrox, but the guy died to the bleed. Batman, Superman if he bled, and indeed he does. So, this guy is now 71 to 41 CS. And you're thinking, well, that's because of EKKO, right? No, that's because of his jungling. His pathing was shit. His path thing gave Viego full counter jungling topside, full kills on the top laner, lost his top lane, got him to go free to the bottom side, and just because we got a kill and assist on the bottom lane turret dive, which is pretty damn close, doesn't make the decision good. It's a bad decision regardless, okay? And that's the biggest thing. All it shows you is how quickly one bad decision on your first rotation, second rotation, can cause you to feel like, oh, my champion doesn't work. No, it's your jungling. Any champion would be screwed. I would be doing this to you. If you're EKKO and I'm Zyra and you did the same thing, I would have done the same thing to you. Like, it doesn't matter who the Viego is, right? Now, Orianna sits there. We force a flash. That's a good flank. We like that angle. How can you say he has bad ganks when you can just yeet a W from another dimension, show it with an E, and just force someone to flash? Because if they don't flash, you flash, and they get stunned and Yone kills them. So now we know that the Viego should be on the bottom side shortly. Instead of doing our blue side camps, we focus first and foremost on the low HP Jinx, which, you know, obviously in game pay attention to. I have King around. Nice flank again. Oof. The W tosses, plus the E tosses, plus the slows. You know, really huge jungling here. We don't always get the camps in this game. 84. It's so strange, you know. When last did you see a guy with 84 CS to 47? But you can honestly say he hasn't really done anything. And it's just been given to him. And it doesn't feel like he's controlling the game at this point. Boom! It doesn't feel like he's controlling the game, does it? Now, Rakan's moving around well, of course, but you can't say... Well, I think he might be dead. You can't say to the... Wait. Flash. EKKO's turning. Careful, though. There we go. There's a flash. Onto the W. Oh, shin. We died. Well, I thought maybe we could do something, but we died too quickly. Sometimes it's okay to not be Superman. Please remember that. See, this is where the gold swing goes badly. Remember, you know, you don't have to save everybody. And when someone's in trouble, you know, it's like those situations where, you know, I don't have to save you, but I don't have to help you. One of those things. You just be more Batman, less Superman with this stuff. Like, look, I got my blue side quadrant. I'm low. I'm just going to make sure I get that. I'm going to hold mid lane now. They're activating Herald. Cool, it's gone. Boom, boom. You know, I'm going to take all of this stuff, move in here, ward a little deep, shadow this, dive this guy. We all go back to base, kumbaya. And now I'm back in the game. And EKKO, by going too far deep there, dies and is costing his team. And here again, you know, like he's just in a rough situation. Yone is rotating. He had his ult up again. So, not a rough situation, actually. Wasn't watching. I was trying to get my previous thought out. Nice rotations. If you have ult, obviously, huge. There's a dragon up. Let's rotate. It's a Jinx. It's a Thresh. Let's get the double kill. Go into the dragon here. We have Rocket Bell completed, of course. 7 stacks on the Dark Seal. This is all good shit. Now he's going to go counter jungling again. But to what avail? So anyway, what I was trying to say is, you can't give Viego credit for counter jungling and winning top lane because of the gank, right? And then not give EKKO credit for allowing the Rakan to roam with him because he ganked the bottom lane. It's the same thing. It's the same mechanism. You want your team to play around you, impact their lanes, right? Impact their lanes. And it's the best way to think about the game. End of story. If you don't impact their lanes and the enemy jungler does, then what's going to happen is roam prior is going to be created. And the thing is, supports and ADCs can truly lose games by not listening to junglers. But again, junglers, what are you doing, right? In this case, the EKKO does this, and should they die to it, let's just say hypothetically they should never die to it. Like we saw the EKKO, they should have backed up, they should have never died. Cool. Viego then counter jungles, wins top lane, gets full tempo for Dragon and for Herald. So it's like, guys, it's okay. If you just don't die to the EKKO, the game's over because he's got nothing. I'm up 50 CS, which is true. But the EKKO did get the kill, so now Rakan can kind of roam as well, which is why that's so important, that play. But you can see the downsides, right? If EKKO gets nothing, the bottom lane doesn't give him anything, Viego will just win the game from it. And the catalyst there was the bottom lane dying. But from Viego's POV, you know, the EKKO made a play. There was a tight play. They did a good job. We just want to go into the Aatrox here, try and get that mega swoop-de-doop, but it's a fed Aatrox, so. It's a fed Aatrox plus a Viego. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure I would always go for these things. That's why I like First Strike, because it's like if I can just get some cash money from the situation without necessarily like forcing myself to go in to get stacks, I'd feel better. So now, nothing happens for the next minute and a half. Literally just some farming. You can see that on the timeline here. Viego shows shadowing the top lane. Yep, EKKO is now level 9. 87 CS. W. Stun. Hook misses. Rakan chain CC onto the Jinx. Orianna ult goes through. Obviously, we have our ult to reposition and heal. Ignite is ticking, 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 ticking. And it looks like we might Die. Whew, that was close. Virka's flanking with the Aatrox here. Just leave. Just leave. You know, Darius shows up as well. You know, we take this. Virka gets another kill. 7-1-3. If you're the EKKO, you should just be bouncing. Because, yeah, you don't want to be here right now. I understand why we would shadow, but I feel like here I just like to go to the wolves, right? I got a smite up. There's no real objective right now, so I don't need my smite for that. Let me smite and quickly take the wolves. I get healthier, and then I can flank this better. It's better than kind of hovering blindly. Just go to the wolves, snack a camp, flash a camp. This should be done already. Hit the plant down to see where the Virkayu is, and you would see where he is or where he isn't, and then you can decide if you can hold this mid lane turret. That's how we do. Jinx ult, man. That's weird, because on the coaching channel, all the quote-unquote low elo stuff, I don't mean that offensively, I just mean like everyone below Diamond, that's where I put the coaching, specifically, kind of like this, but just for those elos. The Jinx ults always hit, and on this channel, the Jinx ults never hit. Never. So this was funny that they hit, because last night on the coaching channel, in the Shyvana game, the Jinx hit cross-map, 2 people, 1-shot, double kill, and we never see that on this channel, so it's nice to see a smack to the face. Right, next dragon is up. We have the Aatrox level 12, that's a big problem. Xayah is dying to the Orion and the Virkayu, big flanked in our jungle. It's a rough game, but this is where EKKO is strong. A lot of junglers are doomed in this particular game, yeah? Now Viegga's full on committed. He can't take the soul or he will die, so he just sprints away, good decision. This guy goes ahead and snacks the top lane turret. Now we're just zoning, probably going to lose the dragon. Nothing we can do about it. Just give it up. Give it up. Give it up. And you see we're going for the Lich Bane. I think that's a good choice here. You know, we're lacking gold a little bit. We're not really split pushing too much. We just need to be able to nuke with our E, with our kit as much as possible. And that's where Lich Bane Death Cap will be absolutely perfect. We have Rocket Belt as well, ready to go always. One more stack on this, also worth noting. You know, in a game where you're behind, if you don't have your pets fully upgraded, their smite is 1200, yours is 900. Don't try and contest something where you know they have that advantage. But I think what we're going to have to do here is have a pretty quiet mid game from our perspective. We do have the Herald, obviously, that we snacked during that skip. Just a simple take while the enemy team was basing. No one died for it. Big oversight, and obviously now, smash. Not really huge, but something. We should see the TP here from the Aatrox. We do get zapped. We ult back out, and we zip back in here. You can see what he was trying to do. It looked pretty. We didn't get nothing, but it looked pretty. So this is what I was saying about EKKO. We're 4-4-5, it's an 8-1-5 Virkayu. Most junglers here, the game's kind of over. You're going to struggle to stay in unless you're a Karthus or something like this. EKKO, though, just has to get items. Much like every other assassin level jungler or something like a Virkayu, you just got to get your items. So whatever enables you to do that, picks, turret splitting, just snacking camps up, pushing waves, do it. Now, it looks like the game's going to be completely over, but we know better, don't we? We know better than to think the game is over in Masters here. So we're not FFing because, again, we have a great comp. Xayah Rakan early game is absolutely massive. EKKO's going a little bit too deep here. See, this is where most junglers, this has got nothing to do with EKKO, most junglers just too aggressive. Like, you're doing too much. It's like EKKO players typically suffer from the same thing as Kindred players. A Kindred player will get like 15, 20 marks in a game, go next game, and they'll think, you can push this turret, but Virka shows up. They'll get those marks, and then next game, play level 3, 4, like they still got 20 marks. And it's like, you had 0 again, you reset. EKKO mains, and even Rengar mains, to a degree, can suffer from this, where you think you're at the previous game's threshold of power, and you're not, and you just overestimate your damage completely. It's a normal thing, don't worry. It's a thing that does happen. Not trying to excuse him, these are terrible, terrible mistakes, man. But literally no kills are gained. They just shove it all the way up to this inhib. Everyone's farming and chilling as best they can. How on earth, I scratch my neck here and thinking while I'm thinking, how do you throw this? So EKKO goes in there, almost gets the one-shot, so that's a nice little test, I think. Can I one-shot the Jinx quickly with an EQ? There we go, we get to kill the Xayah, follows up, beautiful. So the damage from the EKKO allows us to kill the Jinx, that's absolutely massive. Now, of course, the huge rake route by the Xayah. We're being flanked on by the Virkayu. We're going to E space away from the Aatrox. Make sure we E out of that W, which is perfectly done. We're staying in the backline here. W for shields. We're just staying on the edge here, watching it. Nice Q. We get that Aatrox. And of course, keep auto-attacking on your downtime. Get the shutdown on Virkayu. Huge. The whole reason that fight is won and the game is saved is because EKKO nuked that Jinx. Didn't kill her, but allowed her to be killed. Huge. That's what I tell you. when you're playing EKKO, there's no reason to FF ever. His early game is significantly stronger than people think. It's about your decision making to get stronger. We're at 16 now. So, 23, can't remember what the exact math is anymore, but like 23 is when you're looking at like just constant electrocute sort of burst damage every time in a fight. That's what you want. So we're getting pretty close here. What are we looking at the moment? Let's see. Total damage is 1100. Oh, that was the old Dark Harvest, but still. Oh man, do you guys remember the old Dark Harvest? The original one you could get just by farming camps. So people would just, the Graves would just farm, come out and one-shot you with like 200 stacks. You're like, yep, this is fun. That was the same season as Dynamic Queue. No solo queue. You could group up as 4, as 3, as 5, or whatever. It was the ladder was just broken. I actually stopped playing completely for 5 months. End of season 6, just stopped playing. Got Diamond in June, and then I just stopped because I was still teaching, right? I was working full time. I was just casual, so I'll just get Diamond 4, Diamond 5, which, you know, Diamond 4 back then is like Master Tier now actually with percentages. But you would just get that, and then you would just, you know, chill. But I actually quit because of Dynamic Queue, because you'd be solo queuing. I always did at the time. And you'd have a stack of 4 and they just force you into positions, you know? Really horrible season. So that's what I think about when I think of Dark Harvest. Anyway, while we had a trip down memory lane, Darius went into the present and kept on inting. Now, what did I tell you? Just push the waves, push the waves. Made a video with EKKO on losing lanes on the main channel the other day, right? Absolutely great example of how to play in these scenarios. Because you've got to know how to play in these scenarios. Now, this guy is himself not playing well, versus in that game where that guy was just 1v9 the whole time, right? 1v9 the whole time, and that's really what you want to strive to be. That's perfect, carrying all lanes. But now it's like everyone's losing, including us, and it's not about the lanes, it's about macro. So, death cap completed. If I'm Jinx, I'm worried. We're looking for a good flanking angle. We've pushed up the waves nicely. Okay, 2 super waves incoming. Here we go. Viego's damage, man. Whew. I'm not a fan of the Viego build, actually. I think that build's stupid. I mean, obviously the damage is nutty, but he kills him with Trinity Force. Like, if you just have Trinity Force there, you're just one-shotting people. There's no reason to go for this whatsoever. Like, at all. Yeah, just go Trinity Force. Kraken, Trinity Force, Black Cleaver. Everybody dies. This build is not it at the moment. Right. We're forced to ult early. That's fine. We're skirting the edges now. We've got to move into passive here. We can chuck out Qs from the back line. There we go. That's a kill. And Yone is in the back line there on the Jinx. We're going to catch the waves here with our ADC. Aatrox is dead. Darius is deep. Perfect. Perfect. See how he skirts the edges of fights. Just dish out the damage you can dish out. Here we go. I feel like this is the moment. Viego's flanking. We don't see this. Viego goes in. We chuck the Q for the slow. We use our W. We create spacing. Obviously, he's on our W there. We're not going to go back in. That would be a Doom's scenario. We do have EQ. We have Flash available. We have, whoa, that was, I don't know if he intended that necessarily. Quickly back to base. Get a control word for vision. You know they're on the Baron. Well, thinking about it at least. Here we go. This is it. Here you go. Look at this. Slow motion this. W, over the wall, E, rocket belt, right into that Q, finish off the E, and that is a dead Orianna. Absolutely one-tapped. Ult to reposition to get out of the chokehold. Now we can wait again for the next E. We watch the fight. There you go. Onto the Thresh. Chuck a Q flashback over the wall. This is the EKKO rolling now. Here we go. Unfortunately, we have no inhibs, so you want to be careful about that back door, which concerns me slightly. There it is. Someone's gonna have to base, guys. Yeah, not everyone is needed to do the Baron. Good. 2 people base. Although, it's definitely tight, isn't it? Like, if you don't have a Yone Darius, I don't know if you should necessarily stay for the Baron, honestly. I get a bit nervous. You know, you should, but ideally, I want to be the one going back to base because I feel like I can control it more than just trust my teammates. But hey, huge. Now, because they're all dead, we can take all of these camps, push this wave up beautifully, Dragon respawns, so we'll snack that up, we'll take the Scuttle Crab, pull back to the blue buff, go back to base, upgrade to Mejai's, why not? Stopwatch, why not? Stopwatch because they're comp, right? Traps, Thresh, Viego, you need that survivability stasis. It's not something I would necessarily ever build an EKKO, I don't think you need it. Just Void stuff here is good. Shadow Flames are fine, Banshee's Veils if you truly need that spell shield. But, I mean, you can even double down with Lichbane Nashos, although it's better just to pick one or the other because the other items are standard. But no, in this case it works, you know? And especially if you go in, hit your W, and you want to bait them in with your stasis, so that once you come out of that, they're all stunned. You can hit your ultimate, just nuke everyone right in that W. So that's a little combo you can do as well. Diego's going all in on the Rakan and now can't burst him because that shitty build. EKKO shows up with a gigantically massive shield, gets a slow onto the Viego there. That auto attack was massive. And now we're just bursting him down. Like, oh, whew, what are we looking at here? 2,000 extra damage. Viego's 623 extra damage. I mean, like, come on. Come on! 2,500 extra damage on the Lich Bane. I wish it would give us the death cap extra damage, but that's kind of difficult, right? It's like basically saying, you did this amount of damage with this death cap because you have this passive here. What if you didn't have that 40%? Yeah, bit weird, but still, be nice to see. Not difficult, it's just something to track. Huge, though. We love these games. We love these games when we win them. To lose them is sucky. I mean, look at this. Trapping now. This is what assassins do. And again, I love the Red Smite. I love Red Smite. Just wait, you see him. The ult was a little strange, but obviously it's to avoid the CC, right? Like, you look at that, and on the face of it, you're like, damn, you know, why do you ult there? It's just to try and not get CC'd, but I don't entirely know if it was fully necessary. We'll take it. I'd rather be over proactive with my ult because it's on such a short cooldown now, 30 seconds or so, than sort of not. Don't die with your ult up when you can. Now, Viego's just looking for backdoor. This is when you know you won, because the enemy jungler or enemy laners are just looking for things. Like, the Viego still got huge amounts of damage. There's a stopwatch. You see, perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. Huge shield. Obviously, now we can press that Q, wait for the E, hit that E, ult back out to avoid his W. Don't want to get stunned, because then he kills us. Next Rakan W does miss. We have E again over the wall. Now he's out of position. We kill him. He's still strong. He's still unkillable, the Viego, but he lost his GA. Still think he should be doing the regular build, though. He'd just be killing everything. The game would have ended. Guarantee you, if you're Viego, the game would have ended. But this is a strategy that we call letting them tilt into you. Alright? Please understand that everyone always says, while they threw. No, give yourself credit. Stop being so negative all the time, guys. When you mechanically outplay someone, don't go, well, they should have. No, you mechanically outplayed them. You anticipated their plays. You positioned accordingly. You deserve credit. In this particular game, you didn't die. You didn't int. You held. You pushed. You chilled. And you forced them to tilt into you because now they're getting worried. Why can't we close? Why can't we end? Can we try something else? Can we get desperate? And that's when you win games. You do nothing. You do, well, not nothing, but you do the smart things until they get tilted, and then you make the clutch play. And yes, you will have to make clutch plays mechanically, but we did. It started when we chunked the Jinx. Huge. Now again, we're trapping again. See, look at this again. As Thresh, W is placed. We avoid it. Step into the shield. Aatrox shows from the bottom side. Obviously now they're pushing mid lane, so we use the plants. Be safe. It's Soul, so I don't mind giving this up if we can stack a Baron, honestly. Because we have Soul Point. So if I have to choose, I'm okay giving up the Dragon. I would rather take the Baron. Ideally, we just go for the fight. So out of position, but look, now we get the flank here. Now we get the flank here. Jinx obviously has flash up. So now we've got to be very careful about how we play this. Jinx coming from the back line, and Orialt already goes up. There's a smite, there's a damage, there's a Q. Thresh does peel us off of that Jinx, but that's fine. Viego's trying to flank on the back door, I think, which is his big mistake. So not actually hugely necessary for this fight. Someone has to base for the Viego. Not hugely necessary for this fight, but that's where I think people are misinformed and they don't understand assassins. You win the fight because you force a Jinx to not play that fight at all. Like, Jinx had a great Orion ult to go trap as we go in. But you're not able. See, now we can kill him pretty easily, right? Like, now it's just, you have nothing on me. And that's a revenge kill. And then you end. So beautiful. Patience. 10, 6, 13. I didn't want to pick a 1v9 game because I feel like I just did that on the main channel. So if you want that, go to the main channel. Look at that EKKO. Big EKKO on the thumbnail. Can't miss it. I like that this game was messy and ugly early. How do you recover from such a terrible early game to come back? This is how. This is what EKKO could do. Champion's strong. Champion's good. Virkayu GG for specific jungle advice, and thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.